one of the big things that happened during my mission, weather-wise, was that we had a Hurricane Sandy. And so that was an interesting part of my mission. We would get up every day, put our service clothes on, and then go out and help people who had lost their homes. We'd work until like 5 and go back to our area, which was sometimes like an hour away, and then proselyte just from like 6 to 9. So that was kind of interesting, humbling to see how people in one fell swoop had just lost everything. It was really sad, but at the same time they were very grateful for the service that we had provided. I was very grateful to have provided that service. Most of what we did would be to like gut houses. So like we would go in there and take the walls off and take the, I don't remember what it's called, the inner walls. I don't know. The thing is, we wanted to take the insulation out because the insulation had been soaked through, and if it stayed there for a little bit, it would start getting moldy and would start throwing off like mold spores, and that can be very detrimental to people's health. It's very hazardous, and so we needed to get that as soon as possible. So that's often what we would end up doing, is like ripping up floorboards and ripping up the walls. And then we just throw out all that extremely wet insulation out. So it was wonderful because we would split up into groups and do it, and it was very helpful to a lot of the people who otherwise would have had to deal with things like mold and stuff like that. It stank, my goodness, especially towards the later end of us helping, because it had been like weeks, and there was still like a lot of water in some people's houses, and my goodness, was it ever very smelly. And sometimes people had very interesting things in their basements, but it was really cool. And I know that people really were appreciative. I remember that almost immediately too, we would go out and help, and there would already be people like setting up all, like big food, like camps pretty much, to make sure that people were fed and everything. And they were very gracious to everyone. And so it was good to see, the best come out in a lot of different people. The best come out in ourselves as we were helping, but also seeing, other people that sacrificed a lot. People that maybe weren't very affected by the hurricane, but were out there every day, helping people out who had lost everything. And, beholding the awesome power of nature too, and Heavenly Father, I guess. So that was an interesting part of my mission. And, the people that I served with, the missionaries that I served with, I bonded with in a very interesting way, just because, it's not every day that you go out and like serve like that for a long time. I had actually been transferred to the area where most of the damage, at least in New Jersey, had happened, all along the coast. And so our area, our zone specifically, was the ones that were doing a lot of the service. A lot of the other, zones in the mission, they had a lot. They had a fair amount of service to provide as well, but we were the ones that were, I think, constantly in there. And then every now and then the whole mission would come to our neck of the woods and help out. So, oftentimes we had the whole mission helping out. I think Alex Boyer came once too, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, mostly it was our zone that was kind of in the thick of it, providing a lot of service constantly, just because we were the ones that were closest.